You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, sometimes with the Red Sox, you just know when things are going really well. Just around the corner is a stretch where you're just going to scratch your head. That's where the Red Sox have us right now, dropping a third straight against the Toronto Blue Jays. The offense doing almost nothing. Tanner Houck outstanding. But did I mention the offense doing almost nothing? Embarrassing, really, from the ninth inning on. You didn't do much against Kevin Gausman, but you did nothing against the Toronto bullpen. With that, we welcome you into our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer, calling over 1,000 games in the minors, spending one glorious Saturday in the show calling Padres-Dodgers from Dodger Stadium on ESPN's national radio broadcast. Ellis Burks, to this day, still one of my all-time Red Sox players. We are providing reaction to every Red Sox game on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, as well as a Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget, give us a great review wherever you get your podcasts as well. We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation. Watching live with us on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, hit that comment button and voice your displeasure right now, because that's where we're at. Felt great going into the series, taking all three from the St. Louis Cardinals over the weekend, including a doubleheader sweep and a walk-off win on Sunday. But on this, our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast, we're going to talk about Tanner Houck and his terrific performance. But the bats, this is a lineup that should not be going 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. This is not a Red Sox lineup that should not be able to score when you start the 10th inning off with a runner at second, when you start the 11th inning off with a runner at second. Latest Locked On Red Sox postcast presented by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off on your first year. So the Red Sox, a tough one. And what are we talking about? We're talking about 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Houck and Gausman, we get into those guys in a couple of minutes. Both teams scoring a run in the first inning. 3 straight singles against Houck. Wagner RBI ground out, productive out. Houck 22 pitches in the first inning, left 2 runners in scoring position. Red Sox got the run right back. Duran, single, stolen base E2. He's at third with nobody out. Devers couldn't get him in. Bregman did. Picked up an RBI with a sac fly, his 11th RBI in the season. But bottom of the 8th inning, Gausman facing Campbell. Campbell leadoff single. And to me, this is where it started for the Red Sox. A leadoff single in the 8th inning, you've got Hamilton at the plate. Hamilton, I'm on record plenty of times to the point where it's almost nauseating. This guy is not going to make his living hitting the ball in the air. And double duty, Celtics, Red Sox. Celtics lose in Orlando, okay. No problem. 9-game road win streak coming to an end. They sat their top 6. If you want more on the Celtics, Locked On Celtics postcast on the Locked On Boston YouTube channel, also available where you get your podcasts as well. But I had Will Fleming, Lenny DiNardo, WEI radio on my phone, and I had Dave O'Brien, Will Middlebrooks on the TV at one point late. 8th inning. Both sides are saying, Hamilton, where's the bunt here? And Dave O'Brien, I thought I heard him say, Alex Cora always does a nice job explaining why he doesn't bunt in the situation. Didn't square around on the first pitch from Gausman, ends up flying out to the right fielder. This is a point in the 8th inning where you're down at the bottom of the lineup. So Hamilton, F9, unproductive out. Got to move the runner. Narvaez up next, hits into an inning-ending double play. Bottom 9, Jeff Hoffman. On in relief of Gausman, who was outstanding, taking a no decision just like Houck. Bottom of the 9th inning, Jeff Hoffman. Great pickup by the Blue Jays. Duran, ground out. Devers, pop out to third. 2 pitches, 2 outs. 2 pitches to Devers, or to Duran and Devers, 2 outs. Bregman ends up striking out looking. Top of the 10th inning, Greg Weissert leaves the ghost runner at second, retires all 3 batters that he faces. Bregman, ghost runner, Manfred runner, whatever you want to call it in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Hoffman, because he threw so few pitches in the bottom of the ninth, out there for the 10th inning. Glass half full, you want to stay positive? Blue Jays probably don't have Hoffman for the series finale as they go for the sweep on Thursday. But Hoffman, Casas, productive out. Move the runner to third. The winning run is at third with one down. You've got Story at the plate. Down in the count, 0-2. He strikes out swinging on a check swing. I wanted to rip my hair out right then and there. I didn't. Abreu, the right move, walked intentionally, moved to second on a stolen base. Campbell at the plate. Down 1-2 in the count, fouled one and hit it hard down the left field line, past third base. How about a fan down in that section, past the third base dugout? Not one foul ball caught, but two in the game. But Campbell can't do anything, ends up striking out. It's safe to say that major league pitchers and big league clubs have caught up to Christian Campbell just a little bit. Just a little bit. 11th inning, Blue Jays get a run. Weissert did his job, but in the 11th inning, Bichette, sac fly. Clement in to score, 2-1 ball game. Bottom of the 11th inning for the Red Sox, you just didn't have a good feeling. Bottom of the 11th inning, Sandlin, Hamilton struck out swinging. Refsnyder for Narvaez, foul out to the catcher. Duran ground out to second, ball game over. Memo to anyone who is currently in the big leagues with the Boston Red Sox. You've got a lot of young players. They've got a lot of talent. It's hard enough to get to the big leagues. It's even harder to stay there. You've got guys pushing at AAA. Guys who want to be in the big leagues, whether Anthony or Meyer or, a guy like Vaughn Grissom, who's now seeing time at first base. Saw that on social media on Wednesday. Am I saying that Vaughn Grissom's coming to the big leagues over the weekend in Chicago? No, I'm not. But if you're not producing right now in the Red Sox lineup, you could very well see yourself exchanging the Red Sox uniform for a Worcester uniform in the not-so-distant future, because this cannot go on for another week or so. The bats, hey, there was a consistent stretch there. The 2 games in Baltimore, the 3 games against St. Louis. But it can't be 5 games and all of a sudden you go down like soft bleeping rain. And that's what the offense did. Gausman, terrific. Houck, both giving up a run in the first inning. Houck loved his outing. Really did. And we'll get more into him in our second segment. But come on already. I wonder if Andrew the Goat, we're going to hit the comment section. Looks like we've got a handful. Yeah, Andrew the Goat's all over this. Andrew the Goat, I think I'm right there with you. I really am at this point. By the way, before we get to Andrew the Goat, Smoke Dog 1982 has been on board with us on the Twitter, X, at Lennox on Baseball. Lineup is posted, the pick to click. I don't think I'm going to do the pick to click because I'm the mush. Remember the guy, the mush in the Bronx Tale? That's me right now. Sorry I did a Bronx reference there, but it's a great movie. So I may not be that guy, but if you want to participate and pick to click or who's going to hit a home run for the Red Sox when they post the lineup, we'll do it again on Thursday. It's a day game. First pitch, 4:10, and you've got Walker Buehler on the mound. Walker Buehler needed to watch Tanner Houck on Wednesday night and say, you know what, I'm going to go out and do that on Thursday, and I'm going to stop this mini 3-game slide that we're on. I'm going to make sure that we avoid being swept in this series. Houck did his job. Buehler can do his job on Thursday. You could still end up being swept. Why? Because the offense is non-existent right now. And I do not want to hear about the weather at this point in time. Okay? I know pitchers can't get the grip on the baseball, all those different things. It hasn't affected the Blue Jays. And they've come in here. They got swept last weekend in New York against the Mets. And they come into Boston, and they've taken the first 3 games of the series. Got to be frustrated with it. And I will come on here and try to talk you out of that on occasion. Right now, no. Absolutely not. Gausman, Bassett, 2 pitchers. I loved them last year. I thought, hey, credit to the Blue Jays. I thought move on. No. They want to compete, and they want to compete this year. And Vladdy Jr. has taken their money. Santander took their money. And again, I've said this. I said it looking ahead to the series after the sweep of the Cardinals on Sunday. It's still there. Vlad Guerrero Jr., Anthony Santander, they're going to hit their home runs of the course of the season, but they have not homered yet. Add Bo Bichette in there as well. And by the way, Andres Jimenez, huge pickup by the Toronto Blue Jays. He's hitting fourth in the lineup. Now, where you kind of look at this lineup over 3 games for the Blue Jays, and this will be it on the Blue Jays. But after their top 4, it starts to get a little thin. They've got some guys who can produce down there, including Billy Wagner's son, the Hall of Famer. But you look at it right now, maybe they have to add another bat. Who knows? But the Red Sox right now, shame. 0-3 against the Blue Jays after you knocked the ball all around the ballpark against St. Louis pitching this past weekend. If you're going to run into good pitching and you're going to let good pitching just simply dominate you, 14 strikeouts, unacceptable. Do not want to see this lineup striking out 10 or more times as often as they did last year. Andrew the GOAT. I feel bad for all Red Sox fans that go to the game and watch them play. This is embarrassing by the Red Sox. Hey, I'm not going to feel bad for people who purchase tickets for March and April for Boston. Use the tickets and go. And they've gone. It's cold. I shared my story as a kid going to Fenway Park and helping probably college guys keep the fire going at their feet. Nobody around us for miles above the first base dugout. In one game on a nasty night, why my mother ever took us to that game, I have no idea to this day, but hey, it's kind of mom is, right? Andrew the GOAT, again, absolutely embarrassing baseball by the Red Sox. Down 3-0 in the series. Red Sox might need to think about firing some people to turn this team around. I don't want to go there. I do not call for jobs. I don't call for firings. Change happens, it happens. But I've put, Peter Fatsy's got to be wondering, what do we do to make this a consistent offense? Because, it's been famine, feast, famine stage again for this offense. You've got to put the ball in play. On a cold night, put the ball in play where fielders, Gausman pitched to contact. Gausman got strikeouts. He got 2 strikes on a batter. He wasn't fooling around. But if you're just standing there, waiting for the ball to be put in play, percentages are in your favor if you put the ball in play. They might throw it away. Good things happen when you put the ball in play. Red Sox, 14 strikeouts. I don't want to see that again this year. I don't want to see anyone lose their job. But yeah, sooner or later, look at the NBA. 2 NBA teams changing coaches in the final weeks of the regular season, including the Denver Nuggets, who won an NBA championship. This might be where Alex Cora has to really, pardon it, but go to bat for his hitting guys. Because at some point, it might have to change. I'm not calling for it. I will not call for it. But yeah, as good as you wanted during that stretch, final 2 games in Baltimore, you win. You get some productive innings. Same against the Cardinals. Not happening in this series so far. Shooting Smoke Dog 1982. Hamilton should not be starting on a team that is trying to contend. I do not want to agree with you on that, but I'm coming around to it. I loved Hamilton last year, but this guy's got to hit line drives. He's got to hit the ball on the ground. He's got terrific speed, well above average speed. Can't have him putting the ball in the air. And again, when you're coming off the bench, you got to produce. Ref Snyder last year had a big year. Quiet so far. Romy Gonzalez has not gotten consistent at bats. Once he got in the lineup last year, he played. Maybe he moves around the next couple of games. Maybe you sit somebody. I don't want to just say it's Cedon Rafaela or Christian Campbell. But maybe it's not just a game off. Maybe it's a couple of games off at some point in time. Andrew the GOAT, Tristan, to me, it's not worth being on the Red Sox anymore. He's hurting the Red Sox offense. You can't argue with the statement. And it's not just him in the lineup. And I thought, you know what? Throw out there, pick to click. Not happening for the Red Sox right now. They are on the struggle bus. And the entire offense is in the driver's seat right now. There's plenty of blame to go around right now with how this is playing out for the Red Sox. And you want them to wake up. More on Tanner Houck, segment number 2, numbers of the night. They're really not all that pretty right now for the Red Sox. Happy to have you on board. We are talking about a loss. We are talking about the possibility of the Red Sox being swept in their first series of the season against the Toronto Blue Jays. We are presented by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Well, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. You might find you like the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Whether you're snacking at your desk on a road trip or you just need a protein boost, maybe they may just become your go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, well, the in-shell option, certainly a classic favorite. The fact that Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein providing all 9 essential amino acids, these little green wonders pack a protein punch. No shells, Wonderful Pistachios for that grab-and-go ease. The satisfying crack of opening each shell, it's like snack meditation. Whether you're running between meetings, dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Again, visit wonderfulpistachios.com. Locked On Red Sox postcast, also presented by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, it's really easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place to stop. So you're not just managing your money, you also start building your wealth as well. When you start using Monarch Money, you may soon realize just how much you are spending on food delivery. With that, you may think to budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan your long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared accounts, personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off on your first year. Back to the comments we go. More on Tanner Houck. Hey, Kevin Gausman, Tanner Houck, 1-1 after one. You thought, okay. All of a sudden, you're 8th inning, like one more run's going to win it. Blue Jays got that run in the 11th inning, win it 2-1. Smoke Dog 1982. Hate to say anything bad about players, but something has to give. Yeah, and you know what? With the home finale on Thursday, then it's on the road for 6 against the White Sox and the Rays. The Rays are struggling a bit right now. The White Sox are the White Sox. They're not much better than 2024. Are they going to be better over this 2025 season? Yes, I do believe that. Are they still going to lose 100-plus games? I do believe that as well. I think maybe you get one more road trip with how this team is right now. And if the bats don't come around collectively, if guys are still hitting in the below 200 coming back from the upcoming road trip, you may not be coming back to Boston. Well, you might come back to Boston, but then you might be heading down to AAA because there are guys right now that are knocking on the door, and it might come sooner than later. But Christian Campbell got off to a great start, but they're starting to figure out how to pitch to him. Campbell had the one base hit, but he struck out 3 times. And a lot of holes in the lineup. 14 strikeouts total. And just looking up and down the lineup, every Red Sox starter in the starting lineup struck out at least one time. Campbell struck out 3 times. Bregman struck out a couple of times. Story struck out a couple of times. And again, you're looking at Bregman, Casas, Story, and Wilyer Abreu has cooled off just a little bit. But those guys combining to go 0 for 14. Do I have that right? Yes, I do. Devers, Devers with a couple of doubles against Gausman. And there was a point, again, in that first inning, Duran does score on a sac fly, got to third with nobody out. And then the Sox, I think, went down 1-2-3 against Gausman on 4 different occasions over his strong outing. Fourth inning, Devers leadoff double. Bregman struck out, Casas struck out, Story struck out. 6 strikeouts at that point for Gausman through 4 innings. And then in the bottom of the 5th inning, Abreu struck out. Campbell fouled off a handful of pitches with 2 strikes. He ended up striking out. And then a fly out. But he struck out 5 straight batters at one point in time. Nobody putting the ball in play. And he wasn't the bottom of the order. It was the meat of the order, the heart of the order. Houck gave up the run in the first inning, had bases loaded, 1 out, limited the damage, and the RBI picked up by Billy Wagner's son, Will, on an RBI ground out. And I love the fact that after the Red Sox got a run in the bottom of the first inning, Houck went out there in the second, retired the side 1-2-3 with a couple of ground outs and a strikeout. And then Houck, third inning, the same. But he got Bichette, Guerrero, and Santander. His second straight 1-2-3 inning, retiring 8 in a row at that point in time. 5th inning, did a nice job. In the 4th, he gave up a leadoff walk. He got 3 double plays, 2 line drive double plays, and a ground ball double play. Came out, Jimenez, leadoff single in the 7th inning against Houck. Wagner a walk, 4-6-3 double play. Wilson came on, runner at third, 2 outs. Scott Roden on a ground out on just 1 pitch. And I was glad to see that. In that situation, Wilson came in, left the runner at third. That run would have been charged to Tanner Houck. And overall, you love Houck. That was a good, solid performance. Lenny DiNardo on the radio side with Will Fleming on WEEI radio said Tanner Houck took a big step forward against the Blue Jays on Wednesday night. So that's a positive that you take from it. There aren't really that many more. Again, as they continued throughout the game, futility with runners in scoring position. You can't, this lineup cannot go 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. It cannot happen. And if they continue with the mediocrity in these situations, 12 for 24 in that blowout win. 24 opportunities with the bases loaded. Wasn't like they didn't have their opportunities against Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays bullpen. And in the 10th and 11th innings, remember, they start with the ghost runner. So that adds to your offer with runners in scoring position. Walker Buehler, he gets an opportunity to end the 3-game slide against the Blue Jays. Walker Buehler goes against Chris Bassett, another guy I like a lot. Again, I thought he would go. I mean, they could have the asking price could have been huge. Name your price last year for Chris Bassett. And this year, I'm starting to believe, especially now, the Blue Jays have taken 3 in a row against the Red Sox. Toronto wants to be in this. They've tried to spend the money in free agency. Shohei didn't want it, went elsewhere. Flirted, didn't go. Vladdy stays home. And yeah, we're talking about the Blue Jays for just a moment, but the Blue Jays and Vladdy Guerrero Jr. voicing a video basically saying he's back. It was terrific. It was well done, and Vladdy, I credit him for doing it in English, and I hope he did it in Spanish as well. Another stolen base for the Red Sox, 16 of 16 on the season, as Duran had one in the very first inning. Red Sox are scuffling right now, not hitting home runs. They're just not. They were doing well with runners in scoring position. Now they're back to where they're really just not doing it. 14 strikeouts total, and another magic number. You have 4 hits the entire game, 2 doubles from Devers, and you walk only 1 time. Make Kevin Gausman look like he's having a Hall of Fame career. He's Billy Chappell. Just 2 walks allowed by Houck, Wilson, Slayton, Chapman, Weissert, and Winkowski, who took the loss. Again, using bullpen guys. Bad trend where the Red Sox are just using so many arms. It's almost as if they need another off day. And they only get an off day on April 17th, I believe it is. They may need a Crash Davis off day. They may need a rain out here at some point in time. As always, we want to tip our cap to our sponsors, Monarch Money and Wonderful Pistachios, and having you on board as well is why we do this with Locked On Sports, and we appreciate you being on board with us each and every Red Sox game throughout the course of the season. Hey, right now, frustrating. Turnaround Don't lose a fourth in a row for what would be the second time this year. Win the finale. Feel good going to Chicago for the weekend series against the Chicago White Sox. That does it for us. Day game tomorrow. We'll be on within minutes of the final out of the finale against Toronto. Locked On Red Sox, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Red Sox, your Boston teams every day.